going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcasts, and we are awesome. I'm Justin, here with Meelz. We're in the dead center of October, spooky month, and we're on the A Show talking wrestling. So what's going on, Meelz?
Nothing much, man. To be honest with you, it's my first day back at work. Not happy about it, but hey, got to get back to work. Um, but other than that, I think I'm pretty cool. Like I'm happy to be doing the show. I guess craved to talk wrestling for the past week. Just not something that normally, but you know what? I'm just happy to be here. How about that? That's a short answer to a long answer. I'm just happy to be here.
So am I. I'm pretty happy to be here too. Pretty
That's
good
good.
day so far. Pretty good week so far as well. I watched the wrestling over the weekend. I'll talk about that a little later.
I don't watch wrestling unless I have to do it for this show anymore.
I watched wrestling over the weekend. Some extracurricular wrestling
Mm.
over the weekend.
Talk about that.
Extra. I was being extra, you know. So we did that. We'll talk about it next. Um, I'm reading through this thread on this tweet moment rather of people asking who's the meanest celebrity that the meanest celebrity experience you've ever had.
Okay, so I also
It's some pretty wild shit on here too.
most of it's Spike Lee for whatever reason, which does not hold up well for me as also a Knicks fan. But also, I don't think I would approach Spike Lee if I saw him in person. To be honest with you, like I would be like, "Oh, that's Spike Lee," and then probably keep it at that. But like going up to Spike Lee and trying to start a conversation somehow, I don't even see why people would even do that.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at him and he just looks like an unpleasant guy.
I mean, yeah, he looks like yeah. So I just he's very few. I've had all right. So in the celebrity encounters that I have had, very few. Um, I met John Cena. He was pretty
Cool.
nice.
He's a nice guy.
I
I met him too in passing.
I met in passing. I met in the middle of the street Amon Shumpert, who was on the phone. So I didn't really want to do too much, but he did acknowledge me while he was on the phone. So I thought that was really nice.
What'd you say? He won.
No, I was like, yo. And then he was just like, yo. And then he just kept it pushing because that's what you do in New York City. Like, you just keep it pushing. Gosh, who else have I seen? Shit. Jermaine Dupri he was pretty tight.
That no, that's random as hell.
So I was back when I was a budding journalist. Um, I got invited to this Vibe magazine concert. It's actually a pretty interesting story. So this is like it taught me a bunch of things. So I got to this Vibe magazine concert. Lots of people were there. Elliot Wilson was there. I think it was ASAP Mob on the bill, Pusha T on the bill, somebody else on the bill. Mad 2012 ass shit. So I went there, and initially one of my people who were supposed to put us on the list, I guess whatever message didn't get through, so I wasn't on the list. But I brought my boy because me and my homeboy, he wasn't really a photographer, but he takes pictures, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
But he's someone who, he's got the gift of a gab a lot better than I do. But he was pretty much like, yo, we look like we're supposed to be here, just let us in. So they gave us these, like, not even like the full access passes, just like, oh, you got the passes to the pit, and that's pretty much it. So boom, we go in, and then we see where all the green room people are going. So my homeboy is like, yo, fuck that shit, we going in there. So we end up going to the we had no access to the green room, but we end up in the green room anyway. This was when I was working on my blog site. I got a drop from Pusha T, who was kind of a smart ass, but I kind of expected that.
I would have slapped his braids off.
No. He was essentially like, we were like, yo, can you take a picture for us? And he was like, I don't know, can you? And I was just like, okay, well, yeah. I mean,
all right, he cooked your ass.
Yeah, but like, it was not something I was like, oh, I expect this from him, just kind of based on just most shit I've seen with him. There are other people in that room that I forgot. That was the first time I met Erica Ramirez, even though she probably doesn't even remember me from then, but she probably remembers me from now. I met Jermaine Dupri, who was cool as hell. He gave me he was in his regular voice, and then he did a drop for me for my website, and he put on his Jermaine Dupri voice. Yo, so deaf. Like he did
Don,
one
this the Don Chi Chi.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah. Well, you have way more exciting celebrity
Well,
encounters.
listen, I mean, none more exciting. None more exciting than meeting the Don Chi Chi. I mean, come on. I've traded in Pusha T's games at GameStop before. He was pretty he was pretty nice then. Uh who have I met? I mean, J. Cole was pretty rude to me once.
Ooh.
He was pretty
Wow.
rude to me once.
Okay.
I
Like
mean,
keep it pushing type shit or energy or
well, no, I went in the studio with Wale one time, and
oh.
he was like dapping everybody up, and he's like, "Who's this?" Like looking at me. He's like, "Who the fuck is this?" Not who the fuck. He was like, "Who's this?" He's like, "Oh, that's my brother. That's my homeboy, man. He's a really good guy." It's like, oh, he like looks me up and down, just making sure some shit. He was just like,
What kind of okay.
he thought I was like a hanger on.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my god. First of all, that's not how you introduce yourself to anybody, even if you were a hanger on, for instance, right? One, you're a person who's in the room. I don't know, whatever. Celebrities.
yeah. Like, come on,
That
man.
was that was not nice. That was not nice.
Um,
Deserve the shit on his album every time you.
hey, man, listen. You know, fuck him. Fuck that nigga. Like you said, fuck that nigga. But I think that's the rudest. I mean, Hulk Hogan made a drop about me. That was pretty rude.
It's also rude. That was pretty rude. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
But I mean,
Um,
essentially, I'm a pretty nice guy. I mean, I don't like to, you know, really kind of overplay my hand when celebrities are in the room. I treat them like normal people, because they are normal people. And
yeah,
I think that you fail once you kind of like forget that, and then you get upset when like certain people like when they play you like that. Which is it's still wrong that they do that, but like some people obviously take their power a little bit more seriously than others.
right.
Um,
Yo, I would never dap up J. Cole ever again after that. Just, just now thinking about it in my brain, I'm like, yo, the disrespect that I feel.
well, I feel like I feel like Wale was trolling him enough that day alone, so I didn't need to do anything.
Listen, well, stream poke it out. Maybe I'll say that.
Well, I mean, that's what came out of it. You know, that's what came out of it. It was that. um, I can't think of anyone else really. I mean, I have really good like when I met Thug. That was an amazing day, amazing night. That was really dope. He knew who I was. That was really cool. Um, I met Umaga one time. That was cool. I gotta put that. I'm gonna put that picture up on the Patreon, but I'm gonna
Well,
blur out the faces of people that went with me.
in terms of wrestlers, I met Apollo Cruz when I went to that Evolve show. I met Apollo Cruz back in the day. Still looks exactly the same. Man has not aged a day in his life. So I met him. I was meeting with she works on the card, Sue Young, back in the day. Um, so I was supporting her at her show. Went to the show. Also covered the show for Wrestle Rap at the time. Stuck around after the show. Uh, the wrestlers were selling their t-shirts. It's always like I don't know how I ended up the only person there and like staring at a bunch of wrestlers trying to sell their own merch and me having to decide which one I'm going to buy. Because it kind of felt like a bachelor type shit. Like who am I going to give my rose to?
Yeah.
Um,
Do you watch The Bachelor?
no, I don't. Uh, I ended up choosing Zack Saber Jr. because he impressed me the most out of anyone that night, and I still have that Zack Saber Jr. shirt. I actually wore it. It's on the watch along, the A Show watch along. That's the shirt, and that's from like mad years ago, and it still feels great to this day. Like so, shout out to Zack Saber Jr. for having fire shirts. I met Apollo Cruz, who was Yoha Nation at the time. I met Moose. Who else? I think Ricochet was definitely there. But I don't know if I
Who
met him.
who would have known that you guys would have be as close as you guys are today? Then
Just cool, recognized cool, you know?
Ah, get that, nigga, nigga.
He's a very nice guy. Like he's someone like I get why celebrities don't respond to everybody, but I feel like I'm sure he doesn't because he gets so much hate online for, because people are just nasty online, so he just has his guard up in general. But once he takes that guard down, he's pretty fucking nice. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
But
Well, let's talk
speaking
about
of,
this Yvonne orgy shit. Hold on, before we go. That was the worst part. So if you ever reach the, I'm gonna make this incredibly short. If you ever reach the Yvonne orgy part of this thread, read it and let us know what you would do in that sort of situation, because that was fucked up. But yeah,
yeah, it's she's fucked up for that, and I mean, she's not all that to be treating people like that. Sorry, it's just what it is. Insecure final season next week. Let's get into No Holds Barred for the week. A lot of news, a lot of AEW news. You ready?
absolutely. Yeah, go off.
So first off, the Friday Night War
Woo-hoo! Woo! You know
has
what I
begun.
can.
So okay, but let's put some disclaimers on the Friday Night War this week. Okay, let's just pretend that WWE has both of their arms tied behind their back because they're in FS1 this week.
Sure. Yeah.
Uh, and AEW will be running practically a Dynamite equivalent show for Rampage, and they will also be running a. Okay, so they have their hands behind their back, but they also have a knife in their teeth because the last 30 minutes are going to be
Commercial free.
commercial free. Meanwhile, AEW has no weapons, just their fists, but they like 2 inches shorter.
You know what WWE's put on in the last half hour, right?
Oh, Becky versus Sasha.
No, they're
What?
not. Putting on Brock, baby. 30 minutes of free
Oh,
Brock Lesnar.
oh yeah.
They're like, yo, Brock, can you stay till about 10:30, 11?
Long as you're
I'd
paying me.
I'd imagine, listen, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar is supposed to have this face off. It's like the go home show before Crown Jewel. I'm imagining they put that on in that slot. Um, or at least at some part during that slot. But listen, Friday Night War.
Friday
This
Night
is the
Handicap.
most asinine shit that I've seen Tony Khan ever feel threatened by. To be real. One, I wouldn't say SmackDown is preempted, but it's obviously being preempted in major markets, and now it's airing on FS1. It's airing until 10:30, which SmackDown on FS1 has usually done, especially with Talking Smack. They haven't really gone past the thing, but now they're like, oh, it's going to be a big bonus SmackDown type shit. So they're doing it on FS1. Tony Khan has now decided just recently they're going to do a pre-show for Rampage at 9 o'clock.
I have some clarification on that.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's gonna air, as Meelz just said, 9 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel.
On YouTube. And who is featured in this main event of this YouTube show?
It's going to be Bobby Fish versus Lee Moriarty.
I thought it was not Bobby Fish versus Daniel Bryan.
No, there's going to be an opponent announced versus Bryan Danielson, but the Fish and Danielson match will be on Saturday on Dynamite.
Okay. This is dumb.
It's ridiculous because here's the thing: he can't muscle TNT or TBS to get that extra hour. He can't.
Yeah.
And
It's stupid.
you are effectively giving away a free Bryan Danielson match on YouTube against someone who will probably be a huge opponent. You know what I'm gonna guess is gonna be? Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just guessing. I'm gonna throw it out there right now. That's the biggest thing they could throw out right now. Adam Cole, just based off of the storylines right now. Adam Cole are one of the Bucks brothers, so they'll throw that out. It'll get whatever on YouTube. I highly doubt the same audience will be looking at both meals. That's my whole thing about it.
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. This is like the equivalent of they announced Rampage on TNT. They announced Rampage on TNT at 10 o'clock, and Vince McMahon saying we got to power up 205 Live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we got to make sure 205 Live is equipped to run across this. Rampage is their worst show. I mean, worst performing show. It has been, steadily dropping in the ratings for the past 2 months.
And we're going to
So
talk about
that. It's their worst performing show. You decide you want to put all in on your worst performing show going against WWE's best performing show. To prove what point?
And also Tony saying, I see that you're going to be running head to head with us next week. I can't wait to beat you for the first time ever.
I mean, I think a large part of this is also just to stir up internet conversation and I guess allegiances. So I think, like we've said before on this, sometimes wrestlers be, playing y'all.
Yeah.
Not me, because I see it. But sometimes wrestlers be doing shit to garner up the conversation. They be doing stuff because they know y'all gonna react. And I think this could be potentially one of those things, because I can't think, in business wise, it just doesn't make sense. Why are you putting on your things on Rampage? You have Dynamite the day after.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Daniel Bryan on YouTube? You
Right.
a YouTube nigga now? And the people who actually perform on YouTube every week not even getting no YouTube buzz? The Diamantes, the Big Swoles, all the other people on YouTube every week busting their ass for on Monday before Raw for views, not even ratings, views.
Yeah, it's tough because it's tough for them, because it's like, this is obviously like the Eric Bischoff, I want to fight Vince McMahon on TV type thing in 2021, right?
Yes, obviously, yes.
It's what it is. I think Tony kind of a punk for not atting Vince in WWE. Like, I think it's pretty weak.
Say he want to fight Triple H on tell Tony Khan if you want to fight Triple H on TV, you can come and bring the smoke.
I just think that it's like the call is coming from inside the house in a lot of ways with Tony Khan when it comes to just who is really like being detrimental to this thing. It's like, you got really good buzz, you got really good momentum. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, your show is doing great numbers. You have to pull out all the stops to do these numbers, but your show's doing great now. Because my thing is this, Meelz. What happens if Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega get injured for 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if the Bucks get injured or something like that? What happens if Jericho leaves? What happens if, like, it's going to be tough because they built no one else up.
And they've set this precedence for having these major shows on a very consistent basis, and promoting them to the point where now they're expected to maintain this certain level from time to time. And the second there's a dip, you better believe not only the fans will notice, but people like you who don't give are gonna notice and be like, oh well, y'all should have told y'all. I told y'all. I have nothing, I watch AEW on a weekly basis, but to me, this is just dumb. This is taking your worst performing.
Let's talk about the Rampage ratings real quick.
Sure. Okay.
So I got the 7 weeks of the show being on.
7-week slot.
August 20th, 1.1 million. August 27th, 740,000. September 3rd, 696,000. September 10th, 670,000. September 17th, 642,000. September 24th, 639,000. September 1st, 622,000. Last week, October 8th, 501,000, down 20%.
It's not a priority. It is also on a Friday at 10 o'clock.
And who's to say that people are gonna stick around for. Listen. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Here's my
But they
thing.
made the show hoping that people would stick around from SmackDown to watch the show. Like a portion of our audience would say, like, all right, now it's fucking Rampage time, which happens. But yeah, I don't know.
Tough.
I feel like we could find. I don't know if there's a correlation between Smack. I mean, there isn't a correlation between SmackDown ratings and Rampage ratings because SmackDown shit's been doing well. Um,
If SmackDown does what did it do, a respectable 800,000 last time, or a million one time, like
yeah, a million. Yeah,
what is that gonna prove?
yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, you know it's on FS1. Not everyone carries FS1.
It's almost like last night's Raw attendance, and people
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Whoa, that was low. I think it's time for them to figure this out." On the same night of Dodgers Giants in the same city, what are we doing? I knew
And
this was going to happen, Meelz. I knew this was going to happen when things started turning around in a
sure.
way for WWE. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it.
And just to be clear, Vince McMahon could just decide, oh, I'm putting mad other niggas on this show as well.
Yeah.
Similar to the Usos on Monday Night Raw. They could just be like, oh, why don't we just have the entire New Day fighting a 6-man tag team match against
This
Roman and the Usos on
no, here's the
SmackDown?
thing. This motherfucker could say, Finn, go out there, have one more match against Roman because it's your last week on SmackDown.
Like, it's different, baby. It's just different. It's just different.
And
This
people
move is corny.
and people need to understand that it's just different.
It's just different. You know, it's not good or bad. It's just different. It's just a different level. But nonetheless, I think this is it's like it's not a smart move. I'm not doubling down on my weakest show just because y'all feel like there's some sort of hint or competition because a show is airing during your time slot that you normally air, even though it doesn't for out of the 52 weeks of the year, it maybe airs on FS1 like 3 weeks out of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got here. I don't know.
Like Meltzer saying, it's getting destroyed by baseball. I'm like, it's getting destroyed by a whole lot of other shit too. Love After Lockup is getting destroyed by.
Fucking performance, the NBA is about to come through and smash your whole shit up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. God bless them. That's all I gotta say. God bless.
Going down the line, Pac suffered a concussion last week. AEW Dynamite.
On Dynamite, or was it on Dynamite, or did he? I read something that he suffered a concussion earlier in the year. Um, but if it was on Dynamite, I could 100% see that, considering the bump that he took. I don't know if he saw that bump.
Yeah, I saw it.
Wee.
Yeah, I saw it.
Why you do that?
Oh yeah, it was a concussion over the summertime.
Okay, all right.
But he did look like he was like out.
Well, yeah, because that looked dangerous. Like he took the pretty much an Emerald Fusion off the top of the ladder through a table and landed.
A slippery one.
Yeah. It just looked bad. It just looked bad. I don't recommend spots like that, and I don't see who would clear. I don't stuff that can off a high distance that damages your head and or neck just seems like a bad idea in the long run, in my opinion.
What you think? What you think about Pac right now?
Um, I don't think much about him, and it's no slight to him. Just that you know, AEW's got more new toys. He was the first toy. Pac
Yeah,
was the first.
yeah. I say
He was,
second. Jericho was the first. I say he's second.
but Jericho still get time and do numbers and stuff. Jericho could be in the main event scene, but he just don't want to be.
He no. Don't want. Can't.
Well, can't as well. But I feel like if they really wanted to put him back in there, they would slot him in and he would be fine and he would just work up to it. The same isn't for Pac. The same isn't for a couple other guys that was in that match. um, but you know, I don't. I pray the best for him. You know what I'm saying? I pray for the best.
Yeah.
I pray for better days. Word to that Tupac song.
He
Better day.
he wasting his life. I say that much. He wasting his life. Um, GCW. I saw something this weekend, and no,
Okay.
Quan, you weren't the only one to say it.
Because I was like, yo, I love Quan.
No, he
Um,
wasn't. He wasn't the only one to say it. Semper Vive, from Observer News, actually had tweeted it hours before Quan did.
damn,
GCW
Quan.
Game Changer Wrestling. He says is the third promotion in the United States.
Mm.
Now that's funny that he said that because I actually did watch, thanks to our patrons who help us get access to Fight TV. I did watch the Fight Club card over the weekend
Mm. Talk about it.
that featured Moxley and Nick Gage in the main event. I didn't think it was a great show. I thought there was flashes of greatness, but when you think about third, if you was to go outside and go say, "Hey man, you heard of GCW?"
Why would I go outside and say that? Who
But
would I
but
be?
Meelz, Meelz, 1998. All right, you go outside, you say, "Damn, you catch WWF last Monday? Did you catch Nitro? Matter of fact, does your TV get ECW on Saturday nights?" Someone's gonna have an answer for all three of those.
Right.
So today, if you say, "Yo, you peep that new WWE shit," they might say, "Yeah, no." You peep AEW, I would be 70-30 that they would know what that is right now.
Yeah, I would think they didn't know what it is. Regular niggas know what AEW is.
Regular niggas don't know what AEW is.
Nah. They be like, yeah, I've seen like, yo, you seen that new AEW? Like, I heard about this AEW thing. What's going on with that? Like, I've definitely been. My boy who does not watch wrestling let me know. It was like, yo, what's this AEW thing about? And I was like,
He not
damn. Like,
tapped. He didn't tap in though.
no, he didn't tap in, but he
Yeah.
just recognized Chris Jericho and a couple other guys, and it was just like he kept it
Oh,
pushing.
cool. Yeah, he said, "Oh, cool," but didn't tap in. So, but that's the thing. To be third, you got to be on that level. And I
Right.
think that people are so in a bubble with this shit sometimes that they don't understand what that means. And it's more than just TV, yes, but TV is a big part of it. The product I saw was not TV ready.
Mm.
It wasn't even like ECW really ready because I don't know what provider would carry that show or advertise it.
Mm.
Also Moxley's wilding.
Oh, is he?
He's wilding.
He
For
do.
one that match wasn't super like very good, but it was also like, why are you even doing this? And you make like way more money than this. He's like, there was no masks in that crowd. That's another thing about GCW is that like, I don't know what the vaccination rules are, but vax or not, you need to be wearing a mask.
Give it
Period.
a couple of years with Tony Khan. Once someone gets majorly injured outside of the wrestling show, that shit's gonna cut off.
Or
He's
someone
gonna,
gets COVID.
yeah. Them exclusive contracts gonna roll in. Impact did it too. Remember when niggas could perform on weekends on the Impact, and then Dixie was like, "Nah, cut that shit off. We'll pay you more, but you gotta cut that shit off. Fuck that."
Like, I mean, it's crazy to see him walk out in a crowd of people wearing no masks, and they're all up in his face, and he got to go home with his
Well,
wife
see,
after that.
CM Punk be diving into the crowd every damn Wednesday. I'm like, ugh, nigga.
It's well, they're vaccinated crowds, right? Wherever they go,
I would hope.
most of the time, except for like Miami. I don't think he'll do it in Miami. Um, I just don't see. I don't see third promotion. I don't even think you watch GCW like that.
No, I don't want. I've never watched GCW in my life. Should I?
I mean, if you, me and Cyrus did the Nick Gage Invitational for spot callers on our Patreon. Check it out on our Patreon. In fact, you need to just tap into our Patreon. Period. We got the A list on the Patreon that's running right now.
Listen,
Uh,
we can talk about that at the end of this thing. I could do a
yeah,
little 30-second spiel on it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Like, let's just be clear, bro. Like, this is the third promotion. It takes a lot to be a third promotion. What do I think the third promotion is right now? New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's still a third promotion. It
Mm.
just is what it is. There's a company that is still very popular. It's probably like to a lot of people. It's not the only thing running in Japan and in Asia, but it is the biggest thing running out there.
Let me ask you something. Potential third promotion. What about Wow?
Absolutely not.
Shout out to the women's of wrestling. The world of women of world of what does WOW stand for?
Women of wrestling.
There we go. See, I knew it. I had it right the first time. Um, they just got the deal.
Yeah.
How do you? I mean,
CBS.
how do you? I here's how I feel about this. Because I looked, I see Genie Bus involved, I see other investors involved, and I'm like, what's your angle? I'm interested in that. Of like, why? Why is Genie Bus, you know, one of the owners of the Lakers, uh, involved in this promotion? Not to say that it's a bad thing, but I want to understand like where are we coming out the other side where this is a positive? And not to say that wow, I'm sound like I'm putting it in mad shade, but I'm interested in her thought process and her decision on why she did it. That's what I'm super interested in because coming up with a wrestling promotion in 2021 and having it be an all women's wrestling promotion
Well,
and
well, the bus connection was earlier than that. It was in 2017 when MGM Television, Mark Burnett and all of them, they formed a partnership with them to create to bring it back essentially. So this has been a situation for a minute, and it had been around for the 2017 2018, it had stopped in around 2019, and they're just bringing it back. So Bus has been a part of it for damn near 5 years at this point. So she was a big part of just bringing women's wrestling shows back in the sense of wow. So she's been around. She's just back with this new deal. I would imagine that she's been shopping deals around for this for 3 years now, and pandemic probably slowed it up.
yeah, I'd probably imagine because they're gonna end up what on Paramount Plus.
Yes.
Listen, the challenge, women of wrestling. That's all I need. You know what I'm saying? Well, all right. Well, maybe not all I need because there's one name attached to this thing that everyone is making a big ruckus about. I mean, Tessa Blanchard. She has reemerged again in the United States. You
I
thought you got me. She said you thought you could keep me down, but guess what? I'm back.
listen, man. I long to be white and have no consequences for anything that I do.
She was like, I was chilling in Mexico until the heat died down, and now I am the casting agent. That means she is responsible for who gets booked on this show, knowing she has a history of saying racist things to fellow wrestlers, fellow women wrestlers, by the way. And she has a major part in the future of this show. How do you oversee that? Like, how does this happen?
Nepotism.
I mean, it's got to be something.
Nepotism. It ensured me. I said this just ensures me that I just won't watch things that she has to do with. But now I'm not going to watch any of it because I know that her fingerprints are all over this show.
Right.
AJ Lee, that we're bearing the lead here. AJ Lee is returning and she'll be part of the shows. Um, Oof, especially for somebody like her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To embrace Tessa Blanchard. I think this is more egregious than a lot of the things people get mad at on a daily basis. To be honest with you,
I agree.
and make um and they make what are they make petitions and shit like that for. Like this is the shit you should be making a petition for. WoW should be talking about this. They should be answering to this
Yeah.
because you're putting a abuser on TV essentially.
I mean, they're gonna have to do something about this before this launches because it's going to be the conversation. There's going to be part of it, and I can't understand anyone. No offense, I understand there's a lot of women who need opportunity, and this is a great opportunity for a lot of people to be seen on any type of screen. But it's just something that needs to be addressed. I would have a major mistrust with how this thing is being handled if I knew that she was kind of in charge of it. Like, if she was a talent, yeah, okay, well, I understand. But her having an actual like part of this thing and helping find these people, like, you could hire anybody else. You really could hire anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah. I
doesn't
mean, you
have
could
to.
have got you could have got Mickey James.
There you go. There you go. Someone who's influential, someone who's got the history, who's got the pedigree, who's definitely advocated for women's rights over the last number of years, especially with the things that have been done to her and all this other stuff like that. Like, you could have got Mickey James. Tessa Blanchard? Y'all bugging. That's all I got to
One
say about
last one last thing. Daniel Bryan admitting the reason for his retirement was because he lied to the WWE about his medical conditions. How does that make you feel safe about his new foray into the world of getting dropped on your neck and getting concussed?
You know, you know, I. It's like Yvonne Orgy says. No, I'm
Oh
kidding.
no! Oh no!
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's what Yvonne Orgy says. No, I'm kidding. Um, I mean, it makes things a lot more clear, especially, and it's surprising how candid he is about that because I wouldn't have said that shit. What? I just got hired like 2 weeks ago. You gotta. It's like you said. I would love to be white.
Like white and have no consequences. I remember people being so mad and doing so many victory laps saying, well, it's because they wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do. It's because they tried to hold him back. And it's like, we're these same people that are gonna be like, okay, now I get it. It's understandable why they would hold you back because you lied. If I lie to my job, you think they're gonna trust me to do anything?
Mm-hmm.
But it also makes sense, huh?
They still gave him. No, I'm just saying, like, even with that, they retired him. They gave him a great send off. Still had him with a job. His family was still taken care of. All the other stuff like that. Like,
I just think that it puts a lot of things in perspective as to why he had to get 15 like doctors to clear him before they would clear him,
mhm.
because that was
The
a big thing.
background of the doctors too.
Yeah, that was a big thing, is that he had to go to all these doctors, and he had to, and they all, and remember, that was a promo. They said cleared, they said cleared, they said cleared, they said cleared. And I always wonder, why do you have to go to so many if they have a medical team right there, right? And
Mhm.
people thought it was because, oh, it's because of the Punk thing. He doesn't trust them. A lot of people said crazy shit, Meelz, during this time, and now we
Right.
know why.
Listen, man, some crazy shit. Yeah, yeah. It's wild.
So when you see him get suplexed onto the the walking ramp, the ramp into the ring, just remember that they're all complicit. They're all complicit in this shit. Be clear.
Oh my
Every
god.
every single person. So when we get back from the A show, we're going to talk about two very middle of the road, middling episodes of the shows, and we're going to try and make some fun out of it. So stay tuned as we explain the week in Raw and SmackDown when we come back on the A show.
You chose me, rescued me, saved me to be your special counsel because you knew I am the wise man. You know, I've been accused of many things in my life, and I'm guilty of even more, but I've never been accused of being stupid. And pulling the trigger now on a scheme to dethrone the tribal chief would be stupid. Why pull the trigger before Crown Jewel? Wouldn't the whole thing be for me to stay within your circle of trust and then counsel you on a strategy at Crown Jewel?
I really like that that Paul Heyman promo.
I mean, one of the best, man. One of the best. Before we get anything about the actual shows, can I have a little second to talk about the A list real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So the A-list, of course, is continuing. We had the opening round last month. Now we're kind of continuing the vetting process, to be honest with you, and it's getting a lot harder. So if you're a patron rather, and you want to join patreon.com/the HORNC, you have an opportunity to pretty much vote in the A-list. And right now, what we have done is we took a pool of wrestlers that we truly believe that represented this era, and we also took recommendations on who should be featured. We have now narrowed it down to 95 wrestlers. And now, out of those 95 wrestlers, we only have to pick 50. I guarantee you, Justin, this will be one of the hardest things you do all week.
I already did it.
Oh, you already did it? Was it hard?
Not really.
Oh, wow. All right. You don't think much of anybody. But I guarantee you it will be 100% hard for the rest of you guys who care. Yeah, it was pretty tough. It was pretty difficult to me. Honestly, I'll say this. Out of the 95 things, I think we had Ric Flair on the list, right?
Yeah, we did.
No. Ric Flair prime is in the 80s and 90s for sure. Definitely in the 80s. 90s and but he has a long, I guess, stretch in the 21st century, but where he's a manager, but he's still like in Impact. He still wrestles. He had one of the matches of the year for the shit with Sean type of thing. So he's still thing. But I had to be like, yo, do I really want to put him over like maybe an AJ Lee or a Sasha Banks or any of those other people? So it's like you really have to, like, when you're narrowing down this list, Okada, all these other people that I watch and recognize how much of an impact they actually have, but all this other stuff like that. Maybe I've seen Ric Flair more than I've seen Okada matches, but I recognize his impact is probably in the 21st century is probably way more than fucking Ric Flair. So it's decisions like that. There's 95 guys. Everyone was pretty green when they eliminated the first batch of people because Alberto Del Rio doesn't make it, Ember Moon doesn't make it, a whole bunch of other people doesn't make it.
You said Ember Moon got 0 votes.
You got 0 votes to stay on. Not everyone's gonna get a vote, to be honest with you. Would I put her in top 50 of the 21st century? No. But you live and you learn. She has time. There's still plenty of the 21st century to go. Right?
Good luck, girl. That's all I gotta say. You got a long road ahead of you. You better make sure that Gigi Dolan catching you. Raw and Smackdown. Listen, WWE basically told us last week these shows aren't going to matter for the next 2 weeks. So we're not going to try.
I feel like, so here's how I feel like. Well, yes, there's a lot of things on this show that just like, wow. Especially with Raw. Raw I turned off after the women's tag match. I legitimately was like, all right, I'm done here. Like, there's nothing more I want to see on this show. Despite the Usos being there, there's nothing more I wanted to see. But yeah, it was a pretty middling both of those shows. Well, SmackDown. Let's talk about SmackDown first of all.
Yeah.
Because the big hullabaloo about this show, the Queen's Crown tournament, or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a take. Queen's Crown tournament kicked off on SmackDown. We had 2 matches. I guess you go straight to the quarterfinals because that's pretty much how it is. You had Liv Morgan versus Carmella, and you had Zelina Vega versus Toni Storm. And both Zelina Vega and Carmella advanced in relatively quick fashion. I know how you feel about this.
How do I feel about it?
I feel like you feel like, well, okay. That's how I feel like you feel about it. You're like, okay, well, it's a tournament. That's how I feel like you feel about it. Whereas me, the more empathetic soul,
Nah, you ain't empathetic, nigga.
This is all right. So here's the thing. I have varying feeling about this, especially considering the match time.
You didn't let me
One.
go. You didn't let me go.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
You didn't let me go. How are you gonna say I know how you feel? I'm gonna just tell you how you feel. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say how I feel.
Go ahead. How you feel? How you
I
feel?
feel like I mean it's much ado about nothing, essentially, because it's like yes, it's the first time, but as soon as I saw where this shit was gonna end, I was like, oh yeah. Like I was like, I get it. I stopped caring when I saw that it was gonna end at Crown Jewel. Like at Crown Jewel, you're probably gonna get a longer match. Okay, more than likely gonna get a longer match.
Oh,
But
probably, maybe. To be honest,
would I have debuted this tournament on a night of two other tournament matches and on a 2 hour show? Absolutely not. I wouldn't have done that. But it's like this is this really an indictment of like everything that's wrong with the way they book the women outside of the top of the card? No, because
yes,
it's like no, it's not. Because at the end of the day, these are the same people you see every week in longer matches anyway. You
I'll
see
say
them.
that.
You see them. You saw Zelina in a longer match the other week. You saw Liv in a way longer match a month ago after Bianca lost the title. You've seen these women all. But the thing is that none of the women that were on this tournament, aside from Tony Storm, you see pretty much weekly anyway. And
Right.
I think that for people to, I get the people being upset. That does suck that the matches didn't weren't that long. I did think it was really interesting they had both heels win, but they corrected it on Raw. I think that if you're trying to push Dewdrop and she's the only face on that shit, I think it's that's an interesting way to push her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I I feel like letting it play out is probably a better choice for me here than to judge it on its merits right now. I think that the end result to me, I think they care more about the end result than they do about how they got there. To be honest with you,
Well, I think all right. So here's my opinions on this. I feel like generally, if you can give the men longer matches, why can't women be featured in the same? Not like you're giving and taking, but it's not really kind of equal in a sense. Like you're not Cesaro and Finn Balor are not going to fight for 1 minute and 19 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like
but
you have
they didn't necessarily have a long match either though.
right. No, they didn't have a long match either, but they had a longer match. Like you take this kind of 2 hour show and the same thing happened on Monday Night Raw, to be honest with you. Like the longer matches went to the men. So you have these shows where you're obviously showing it's like a, you're displaying there's two sets of tournaments going on. This one, the men's one, that's going to be the one that we're talking about have all these longer matches one, and the other one are going to be really quick. And it's not like that's not the narrative that they're telling, but it's essentially what's going on, and it's more so clear as day as you can see as they're opposing the men's tournament in this entire thing. I felt like you could have given the women more time. You could have taken away from a couple of these matches. To be honest with you, if you're going to feature this Queen's Crown tournament, and you were going to be especially when there's clearly a tier with the women, they're the main eventers, and then there's kind of everybody else, and you want to continue to give things to everybody else because just a month ago you didn't feature everybody else on the show and everyone got mad about how they weren't in Madison Square Garden and they were all dressed up and all to the tens and no one got featured. Um, and you want to make up for that. Like, I just feel like give these women a chance to at least impress these people that they've came here and impressed. They train their asses off. Let them actually have these matches for more than actually 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
But people acting like this gonna be like permanent type shit, and it's not.
Yeah, but it sets a precedent
It
because
doesn't.
because this you saw the statistic like out of all the Queen Crown tournament matches, you add the times all up together, it came up to 8 minutes and 27 seconds between 8 women. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an alarming statistic. Because there's matches on Raw that happen over it. I'm pretty sure Ricochet and Xavier Woods lasted over 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I see all these things, and I'm not necessarily like outraged completely, like, oh, we got to stop this, but I do think that it's something that WWE needs to continue to consider. Like, women can't be always the people who gets cut off during this thing. For instance, you had 3 Seth Rollins segments on SmackDown. You had a
SmackDown
segment.
just SmackDown is just
Right,
this is SmackDown.
I
That's what they do.
I understand, but you had 3 Seth Rollins segments where you had Seth Rollins. He was in an interview, then he was backstage with Sonya and what's his face, and then my friend Adam Pierce, not what's his face, and then he closed the show. Did you really need 3 to set up for that closing of the show when you probably could have announced that he was going to address Edge at the end of the show anyway? Like, so I usually love the show. It's kind of I'm not saying that I hate the show by any stretch of the means, but give the women more matches. Give them more time in these
They had
matches.
2.
Give them more time in these matches. Sorry, give them more time in these
I feel
matches.
like it changes like weekly. Like I would have lobbied for longer women's matches over more women's matches, but then people want more women's matches. It's like
People want more people featured on the show, but they also want them featured in time. Give them some time.
on a 2-hour show. It's tough. I'm
I
not
agree.
trying to be like, far be it for me to you know. I just don't think the Queen's Crown thing is where we should be dying on the hill at right now, especially when this problem has been going on since before this tournament started.
I think while it shouldn't be something to die on the hill, it does provide an opportunity for the women who are not in the main event, who
But this
other times wouldn't receive an opportunity for a championship. This is
absolutely, but
something else.
this don't set the precedent if it was already there. So like niggas is acting like it's new. It's not. We've been talking about this for months.
Absolutely.
It ain't new. It's
But
been
I think
happening.
just with the opportunity of like presenting something, I guess people expected more. I mean, shame on them for expecting more from things. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no, 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 no shame on them. No shame on them. Like I said, they're in a real fucked up position to be starting this in the first place, because in a real bracket would have had Knox in it or Shotzi in it, but it's clear they're trying to push, from what we now see, 2 of these people or 3 of these people on the women's side. Clearly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they want to go. So they're trying to build that mid card out. Even though I feel like I looked at the bracket and was like, this is a whack bracket in general.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the bracket, there was no way that you couldn't have had those heels win. Period.
Yeah.
So it's like they those heels had to win those matches, because look at the brackets. It's fucking heel heavy as fuck. Dewdrop is the only like believable pure face that's been pushed on Raw like that.
There's Liv.
Liv,
People love Liv. People love Liv.
they've been putting Dewdrop in better positions than Liv, and you can look at the way Dewdrop's been pushed to see that.
I agree.
Dewdrop is in a better, like let's just put the brass tacks here. Dewdrop is the only person that I saw winning those brackets, because she's been pushed the way that she should have been pushed. Toni Storm barely be on TV, and this isn't the best place to start pushing Toni Storm, because if she wins the whole thing, or if she wins that match then loses the final, y'all would have been way more mad. So she should have lost the first round.
Yeah, no, I agree. She should have lost the first round. My thing isn't necessarily who won or who lost, because this is. I like, Zelina, Carmella. I get it. Whatever. The point is, the point is who's going to reach the finals. I think that's always been the point, and I agree with you, because I think I even said on Friday, Toni Storm should have lost, because like, she reaches the final, loses in the final, y'all gonna be pissed. She might as well, if she's not gonna win this entire thing, have her out the first round.
Yeah,
I agree 100% with that.
but I'm not going for Liv as being booked better than Dewdrop. She's not. She just isn't.
Yeah, I could see that.
First night, Dewdrop beat Naomi.
Oh, that's true. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
What do you thought about the King of the Ring one on both sides for SmackDown and Raw? How have you thought about that thus far? Is there a clear direction you think they're going?
It's looking like it's looking to me like it's gonna be Finn and Xavier in the final, huh?
You think so?
I mean, you will want to ideally get Jinder back for distracting Kofi, so you have Kofi do the same to Jinder to get Xavier in the finals. Finn
I
and
hope Xavier gets there because Jinder, Saudi Arabia, Jinder.
I see that
Saudi,
too. I said it last night. I said it last night in chat. I was like, it's either gonna be Jinder or Finn.
right.
Um, but I think that you take the Prince, you take him from Prince to King. I think is a better story there. Take him from the Prince to the King, and you can turn him at that point because if you got Big E on the show, he's your top baby face,
Yeah.
automatically your top baby face on the show. Um, and you could you could easily slot him in with AJ, with Seth. You could turn AJ if you want at this point. There's no, and we'll talk about AJ in a second, but um, it looks like it looks to me it's going to be like it's going to probably be Finn Xavier or Jinder Xavier. If Xavier wins the whole thing, that's dope. I just don't see them doing. I see them definitely not giving it to him. I've been
Yeah.
wrong before. I've been wrong before. So.
I mean, I can see them giving it to him, but I feel like I've heard things about how they're gonna push Finn. There's a big push in line for Finn. Um, Also, Jinder just seems like someone who I guess could use the gimmick. He's on SmackDown now, right?
Yes.
They kind of need something for SmackDown. They give him the crown, have him feud with Nakamura. They feud over the crown, blah blah blah. So it's really, I mean, anyone's race at this point for King of the Ring.
It's anyone's race. Again, I looked at these brackets and I was like, well, here's the thing. You don't really want to beat Finn either. You feel me? So like, that's why to me it's a toss up between Jinder and Finn coming out of that second bracket. But Xavier, like, for sure is coming out of he's gonna face Jinder. But the thing, oh, wait a minute, Finn would face on the other side of the bracket. He's facing Sammy next. He's definitely gonna beat Sammy, and then he goes to the finals, right? Yeah, it is. So yeah, it's Finn versus somebody. Do you beat Finn? I don't think they beat him. I think that they usually like to give.
So Sammy really can't go to, or he just refuses.
No. Yeah, he doesn't go. So you already know he's not gonna go.
Why even put him in a fucking tournament?
Because you need bodies, and they can't. Because I told again, this whole October 22nd thing fucks everything up. Like that whole trade window thing is just really weird. Like that whole or draft window, whatever it's called, that reprieve is really weird.
I just feel like if Sammy really realistically can't win, I don't even see why he's in the tournament. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me of why he would be featured in a tournament that no one believes that he's gonna win. I get it for character wise and stuff like that. Like, it definitely helps.
Gotta have
yeah.
bodies. I mean, you could have put. I mean, easily, Meelz. You could have put KO in that spot.
Yeah. Make him sadder. I don't know.
Oh, I'm so tired of the KO. I'm so tired of the KO weirdness. I'm like, nigga, just go. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I can stop hearing it. Just go or stay, so I can stop hearing about this bullshit. But yeah, it's Finn.
But do you agree? There's a certain, like, you just feel an energy about it.
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
No.
You just think the nigga's this is how he always is.
What are you talking? What do you mean? Like, you're asking us to read somebody's body language when he's playing a character? He never had the boo boo face when he was doing anything else.
Okay.
I think people are reading way too much into it because there is a place where he can go.
Absolutely, yeah, you're right.
I think people are reading into it because there is a place that he can go now. There is a place he can go where his friends are at. I think he's professional enough to not let that affect the things that he's doing right now. As of right now, no, he does not have a real direction. No, but here's the thing: how's that any differently from any time else he hasn't had a direction?
Yeah, you haven't had a direction. Nigga went and did commentary on NXT one week.
Yeah,
like
he often has no direction, and then he's slotted into something. That's just the way he is, and I think that getting worked and being weird about the situation, being really open and I think the contract stuff.
You're talking about the people being weird about the situation. You're saying the people being weird about.
Yeah, I don't think. I think that's what.
No, I was gonna say you didn't specify that. It made it sound like you were saying KO was.
Oh no! I think KO was weird for that Mount Rushmore tweet. I think he was mad weird for that.
Okay.
That was weird. But other than that, he's been pretty normal. I think that people are making this into something. I think contract talk just in general is detrimental to everything. We should just enjoy these fucking shows. Like, yeah, we talk about this type of shit on No Holds Barred, but when I'm watching this, I'm not looking to see who's getting beat because they're gonna leave in 2 months. I'm just not. We
Let's see.
sometimes we know too fucking much.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. Listen, not gonna get anything from me about that. You got a great contract signing between Becky, Bianca, and Sasha. I thought it was tremendous.
Way
I
better
thought,
than what they did on Monday.
hell yeah. Well, abs. We'll get to that. Do we want to get to that now? Can we just slide into that?
Before we get there, I thought the Seth and Edge segment at the end was really good.
I thought it was really good too.
Far and away, best feud of the year for me right now.
I agree. And how much do you think Edge had a pitch for Hell in a Cell on a non-Hell in a Cell pay-per-view?
It wouldn't be
man.
It wouldn't be hard, right? Because it's like we're now at that point. I don't think it was hard for him to do that.
How much you got to reach in the Saudi bag? They got to bring the whole cell over. Is this might be the first cell overseas?
No, they can get it. They can get it created over there.
Oh, okay. You think they're just making cells over?
They could totally be like, hey, Saudi Prince,
it's a Saudi cell, baby. Jewels in it and shit.
That'd be fire. Made out of. I got gold turlets like Birdman said. I got gold. I got platinum on my cell, nigga.
Oh my god! All right, let's go to Monday Night Raw. What do you feel? How do you feel about Monday Night Raw?
Boring show this week, and
boring.
I was barely paying attention this week, and that's not been the case. I said it last night. The streak of good Raw shows is over.
It's over. Yeah, I agree. It was a lot of nothing on this show. A lot of I guess Monday you get to the I guess the go home show is next week. Are they taping that show? Do niggas gotta go to Raw and then end up in Saudi Arabia on Wednesday?
Here's my thing. I would imagine that SmackDown's gonna be you think they're gonna get there that Friday? They're gonna get back that quick?
Listen, they better.
Well, hold on. Was the idea that when they got held up in Saudi that one time 2 years ago, was the idea that they were going to come right back and do SmackDown, or was it going to be a shorthanded show?
No, it was they were going to come back and do SmackDown, and then NXT had to pop up, which is fine. I mean, I guess it was going to be part of the feud anyway, but NXT popped up. I don't know if NXT 2.0 can work SmackDown.
No. Like I was thinking like maybe SmackDown would be shorthanded, but I think we're gonna get a very low impact SmackDown next week because of this. But you have new people on the show who
my joints. I don't know about my joints on this shit. I ain't fine.
No, but I think the idea is that you also have new people debuting on these shows next week, so you can realistically just have them carry the show.
Right. Of course. Okay.
So Raw was just it was pretty not abysmal. There was some good stuff on here. I thought that the King of the Ring match between Xavier and Ricochet was really good.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Ricochet. Lost in your birthday. But guess what? Happens to everybody.
I, however, think that RK Bro and AJ almost need to get the fuck away from each other already. I am so over this feud.
Damn, already? I mean,
it's been going for like 4 months.
Well, I don't think it was supposed to be going for 4 months. And then MVP. Why they wanted to put the number one contendership on MVP who had to go get surgery? No clue. But listen, I'm sure it'll be over soon. There's a whole new set of Otises and shit on Raw.
That segment was dog shit. And I was like, they got almost doing the chit kick and replaying it in slow motion. I thought it was gratuitous. I was like, they are padding for time this week. Yes. I'm like, come on.
Absolutely. Yeah, when listen, the main event started at like 10:37. I was like, damn, nigga, that early? I'm gonna tap out right now. I'm
And
gonna tap out.
to be fair, I thought the main event was okay if it was just like a house show match. Yeah, it was fine. But it was like you had Uso, you had J.Cole and Roman. I'm like, I know that's not how you talk to fucking Roman on a regular basis.
Hey, bro, we got this. I just let you
I
know.
All right, peace. Yeah, hell no. He'd be like, yes, sir. Yes, yes, daddy. Yes, yes, I will.
Oh my God, Monday Night Raw. Yeah, we on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, nah, yeah, we them ones. I won. Remember I won.
I'm bringing I-1, but they should bring back I-1 just for the stable.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it. My favorite part of Raw was Mustafa Ali beating the shit out of Mansoor. I thought
Loved
that
it.
was tremendous. I thought it was those rare moments where obviously Mansoor they could have easily ended the segment and it was like, I guess we'll just have to figure it out on Wednesday. And then Ali comes back in the frame and is like, no, nigga, understand this shit. I don't fuck with you. I don't. I don't want your optimism. I don't want your let's look on the grass is greener type side. I don't want to see you on SmackDown. I'm beating the shit out of you. Leave me the fuck alone. I thought it was tremendous.
Grass is greener than the other side type things. It's definitely an all timer from you.
But you know what was not? What was weird? All right. Well, did you have any thoughts on this segment before I transition into the?
Yeah, let me talk about the segment. Damn.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Talk a little bit.
Mansoor versus Ali at Crown Jewel. This is why I don't think Jinder is gonna get that look because they already got this.
Greatest streak. They already got the greatest streak in professional wrestling. Already competing at
Yeah,
Crown Jewel.
yeah. Then again, nothing wrong with having Jinder there in Saudi Arabia.
Get a little, got a little extra. Put some more. Put a little bit more on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's just extremely clear what they're going for here with King of the Ring. But I think it's going to be a good match. I think Ali's gonna get a lot out of Mansoor.
Good. I agree. I hope so. Listen, the Mansoor feud, they just got drafted at SmackDown together, and now they're broken up. So, God bless them. Was not that great. Whatever they were doing with this women's tag team match.
I was fully expecting Jimmy Smith to be like, these hoes crazy.
They wildin'. Nah, I like I liked it in the beginning. I like the idea that they're not coexisting and they're not even gonna try. I liked that in the beginning. But then it went on kind of like very, very long. And it also ended up being just detriment. It ended up being something where it's like, why we booked this match in the first place? Right.
I didn't understand it. I mean, we know they don't like each other. They have to give Charlotte something to do because Alexa is in the Shadow Realm for the time being for her rebrand, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, Alexa isn't following her to SmackDown, so I don't know what they're really doing with her here.
Is Alexa a free agent? Hashtag
No,
free
she's
agent.
on Raw. She's on Raw.
Oh, all right then. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, I got no clue what the I don't know what the idea was behind that, but apparently, I mean not apparently, but it became a huge brawl, huge Donnybrook that just kind of stretched the length of like a 10-minute runtime here. The match was supposedly like restarted and they just couldn't get it together. They kept brawling and then the segment was over.
I would have left immediately after that. I really would have left. I would have been like, all right, well, I've had enough of this show. Clearly, clearly they were like, we give a fuck, but like kinda. Like that's how I kind of felt about that show. Anything else happen on Raw? Anything worth a damn?
I mean, you had Dewdrop beating Natty. I think a lot of people breathe a sigh of relief for that.
Oh yeah. That's very true.
It's
Could
looking like it's looking like Dewdrop's probably gonna get beaten by Shayna. Well, here's the thing. I never thought Natty, and I said this earlier. I never thought Natty was gonna win that match because she has no storyline right now.
That's never stopped her from not winning.
Nah, no, they wouldn't have done that because there had to be a through line to get Dewdrop and Shayna to face off against each other before Shayna leaves Raw. So that's what you had them do there.
Right. Okay. All right, I could see that.
Yeah, there was no way that Natty was gonna win that. I never thought she would.
Let's see. Anything else that we can kind of close off on? Anything that we can nah. Raw was
Austin Theory was on the show the other day too, or last night too.
I wasn't impressed.
The fanboy thing could be funny. It could be pretty funny.
It could be. Let's leave it in. Let's leave it on the Let's keep the segments rolling before we get to the matches. I thought it was a good. You know what? Let me think. I thought it was a great match because of that false finish, where I thought Jeff was actually going to win, and they put that down in your mind, and I was all for it. I was like, oh yeah, let's have Jeff win. They will really. I was all for it because I wanted to see the internet's reaction because I was so bored of Raw. I was like, oh yeah, timeline about to turn up now, and then fucking nigga moved out the way and rolled him up, and I was like, oh okay, no one's gonna blink an eye at this.
Then people got fucking mad. Like, get out of here, nigga.
Listen, you do what you can and do what you do. Shout out to a couple new patrons that have joined the A Show family here on Patreon. People really want to see us die. But that's okay. Let's see. We have Quest Jones. Welcome. Who I think is from Australia. I think.
We worldwide with it.
We worldwide, baby. Slat Hugo 2 new money. It says it right there. Slat Hugo 2 new money. Listen, Slat Hugo, I know you. Please respond to the DM. We're trying to let you in the Discord. Please. If not, you got my line. Hit me. We got Chris. Shout out to Chris for joining. And we also got, this is BLK Man. I'm assuming Black Man?
Hey, Black Man.
Bilk Man? Black Man? Bilk Man.
Black Man. Blick Man.
Blick Man. Blicky. Yeah, so shout out to you guys for joining the Patreon, of course. Thank you guys for always subscribing. You can, continue to subscribe to us on Patreon at patreon.com/TheHORNC. You can also subscribe to us on Twitter at twitter.com/TheHORNC. Follow us on Twitter so you can get all of our funny tweets, and you can also find out when all the shows drop. Of course, you can listen to this week, the War Report, which will come out this week. I think at some point, is there a Dynamite? There's no Dynamite this week.
There's no Dynamite this week. All
right.
Stay
be
tuned.
D'Angelo show. It might be the Tony D'Angelo show, my nigga.
Yeah, stay tuned. I'm pretty sure Cyrus and Quan have something up their sleeves because Cyrus is actually attending. He's attending Dynamite and Rampage this weekend.
Listen, a little bit of a gabagoo. You know what I'm saying with Tony D'Angelo.
Are you concerned necessarily with the NXT 2.0 stuff? The ratings.
No, because it's like not really. I'm surprised you asked me about this because you just said last week that you didn't want to hear any shit that I had to say about this. But I'm not surprised. It's a really fun, it's a show that doesn't seem. I'm not completely drawn in, but I'm not completely drawn away. There's very low stakes to the show.
Oh, you mean pushed away? You can't be drawn away.
Yeah. Sorry, pushed away. I could be drawn away by American Crime Story.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not pushed away. So I'm not. They got a couple good characters there. Tony D'Angelo Hive is big for whatever reason. I just like that it's randomly popping because, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be real with you. This is a hot take. I saw him in the ring. He was working that headlock a little bit too long for my taste. I'm like, do you know anything else?
Oh, the match was not that great to me. I think
it was not that gabagoo.
Yeah, the match was not that great. So I mean, I think Tony's cool. I think he's a cool gimmick.
It's a gimmick. It's the vibe.
I thought Trick and Mello impressed me the most last week, but
I don't like Trick's boots that he wrestles in. Get out them brunch boots. Get some real shit. Don't hurt me, but like get some real shit though.
Yeah, he'll beat the shit out of you. He said that, Trick, not me. But yeah, that is the A show for this week. Of course, obviously, please join our Patreon. If we get to 100 patrons, we will do the hot chip challenge on video for all of you guys. I know you want to see
Everyone
this.
keeps showing me, everyone keeps showing me their videos of them attempting it. I'm like, why am I being?
You're getting,
I don't like spicy shit. So over this weekend, I'll tell you this little look into my life. I ordered the spicy chicken sandwich from Popeyes because I don't eat spicy shit. And also there was an error on the Uber Eats thing where the whole entire meal was like $5, and I was like, holy shit, I'm fuck that.
wow, that means you used it way too. That means you used it way too much.
Oh yeah, listen, you see my rewards points. Have you seen my rewards points?
Yes, I saw them.
Okay, yes, they're monumental. So I ate that spicy chicken sandwich. I needed a glass of water or drink after every bite.
All right, this we're gonna die.
I try to suck it up, but I can't. I don't do spicy shit. So yeah, listen, if you want to see us die, patreon.com/theHORNC. We also have more watch alongs for the month. We will release them throughout the month sporadically. We have more coming this month. So make sure you stay tuned. Stay ready.
And we also have an episode of Spot Callers talking about WCW Halloween Havoc 98. It is going to be a very long episode because it's a very long show, but it's probably one of the best spot callers that me and Cyrus have ever done. So I'm going to put that out there right now. Join the Patreon to hear that review next week when it drops. And yeah, for everyone listening, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Patreon. For Meelz, I'm Justin. We'll see you next week on the A Show.